And welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to another weekend preview. Some big games in the Premier League and the Championship coming up, so let's get straight into it. Starting off with, you'd have to say, a top four game at the top of the Premier League. Leicester v Liverpool, who'd have thought that a few months ago? Leicester, they're doing fairly well at the moment. On good form. Liverpool lost their last two. They desperately need to bounce back, but to be honest, I just can't see them getting a win here. I think Leicester are more than strong enough, and I think they'll hold them to a point. I'll say 1-1. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace take on Burnley at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace, they're fairly inconsistent at the moment. They've just won 2 of their previous 6 Premier League games. As for Burnley, they're on a bit of an iffy run of form at the moment. Both teams probably need a win, but to be honest, I think this will be quite a tight, scrappy game. But I do think Crystal Palace just in slightly better form at the moment. I think it will be close, but I do think they will get a narrow 1-0 win. Manchester City host Tottenham at the Etihad at 5:30. This is going to be a really interesting one. Tottenham, they're not in the best of shape at the moment. Of course, crashing out the FA Cup. In fact, they've lost 4 of the last 5, which is really, really poor. And with the form Man City are on, I think it's really hard to see the way they're going to get a result here. So I do think Man City will pick up a fairly comfortable win. I'm going to say 2-0. Aston Villa travel to Brighton in a late game on Saturday. This is going to be an interesting one as well. Brighton, they were on a good run, but have only got one point from the last 2 in all competitions. Aston Villa, they're back to being inconsistent really. They did go on a little run, but they're quite inconsistent these days. It seems to be win 1, lose 1, win 1. So I think this will be a close game, and to be honest, I can see a share of the spoils. I'm going to say 1 apiece. Southampton against Wolves, a repeat of the FA Cup fixture in the week, of course. This time, Southampton are the hosts. Southampton, they really need that win at Wolves. Hopefully that'll give them a much needed momentum, because they've been on a really poor run lately. Wolves, I thought they'd kick on after that win against Arsenal, but they just haven't done it. And I think both teams are in desperate need of a Premier League win here, just to steady the ship a little bit. I think it'll be scrappy, and I think it will be a draw. I'll say 1-1. West Brom against Manchester United. West Brom, it's just really not quite happened for them under Big Sam, has it? I really thought he'd turn it around, make them a lot more solid, but in fact he's probably done the opposite. Manchester United, they're still on decent form, despite that disappointing draw last week against Everton. I still think they will have more than enough quality to get the win here, and I do think it will be quite comfortable. I'm going to say 2-0 to Manchester United. Arsenal take on Leeds at the Emirates. Arsenal, they've lost the last 2. It did look like they were turning a corner under Mikel Arteta, but they have just won in their last 5. So they need a win here against a, inconsistent Leeds side. But they are on a good run of form, I would say, at the moment. They've won 3 of their last 5, but I still do think Arsenal will be treating this as a game which they really should be winning. And I do think they probably will get the win. I'm going to say 2-0 to Arsenal. Next up, Everton take on Fulham at Goodison Park. Everton getting a win in a crazy game against Tottenham last time out. And except for that, their Premier League form has been quite inconsistent. Fulham on a bad run. And to be honest, it looks quite ominous for them at the bottom of the league. 8 points adrift. And they're the 1 in 18. So I think the relegation places are all but decided. I'm going to say 2-0 to Everton. I think this will be a pretty routine victory. West Ham host Sheffield United on Monday. West Ham, they're doing really well at the moment, of course. What a season they're having. But they haven't won in the last 2 in all competitions, so they'll just want to get back on track here. Sheffield United, at least are having a cup run. They are showing signs of improvement in the league here, but I do think West Ham will have just a bit too much for them here. I think it will be close, but I do think West Ham will have enough. I will say 1-0 to the Hammers. And the final game in the Premier League, Chelsea versus Newcastle. Chelsea, they look a much better side under Thomas Tuchel, but they didn't put in a great performance last time out against Barnsley. Newcastle, of course they got a win last time out against Southampton, which is a huge win for them, but except for that, their form has been really poor, and with how much better Chelsea look under Tuchel, I can see it being a pretty routine victory for Thomas Tuchel's men. I'm going to say a 2-0 home victory, which could even flatter Newcastle. Blackburn take on Preston Friday night in the Championship. Lancashire derby, of course, huge game in the race for the playoffs. Blackburn, I think it's their inconsistency that will cost them in the race for the playoffs. They had a huge opportunity away at QPR, but unfortunately they didn't take it. And I think they'll be seeing this as a must win. Preston will probably be seeing this as a must win. They're 9 points outside the playoffs. They do need to start picking up points on a regular basis if they want to. But I do think Blackburn going forward will have enough quality. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Blackburn. Next up, moving on to the Saturday games. At lunchtime, Nottingham Forest host Bournemouth. Forest much improved at the moment under Chris Hughton. He's really staying in their mark on them. Bournemouth, great win against Burnley in the Cup. And they seem to be turning the corner a bit under Jonathan Woodgate, which has been really crucial for them because it's given the board time as to who they want to appoint as the new manager. But with how well Forest are playing at the moment, I can see this being a bit of an issue for them, and I can only see them getting a draw. I'm going to say 1-1. Birmingham host Luton in what is a crucial game at the bottom of the Championship. Luton are on really poor form, and you could say they're getting sucked into it a bit. Only 6 points clear. Birmingham, they're in a really ominous position at the moment, in the relegation zone, awful form. And to be honest, I just can't see them getting a win here. They're just struggling so much at the moment. They do have a favourable run of fixtures. They need to pick up some points. But Luton won't lose in scrappy games like this. I'm going to say 1 apiece. Cardiff take on Coventry at Cardiff. Cardiff, they're much improved under Mick McCarthy on a really good little run, and I can see it continuing here. Coventry, they're not on the greatest run at the moment. Did hold Watford last time out, which I suppose was a decent result. But I just can't see them getting a result here. I think Cardiff will have a bit too much for them as they continue their playoff push, you could even say. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Cardiff. Derby, Middlesbrough is a game at Pride Park, and this is a really interesting one. Derby, they're just so much worse without Christian Bielik, and they looked really, really poor last time out without him against Rotherham. Middlesbrough, they're on an awful run of form. They need to bounce back quickly. Be interesting to see if they do, because they're just not the greatest run of form, but I do think they will. I do think they've got that extra little bit of quality which will see them over the line. Huddersfield take on Wycombe. Huddersfield on really poor form at the moment, although they have got 2 draws last time out. Wycombe, I think it's they're down, to be honest. They've stopped scoring goals. They've started leaking goals again, so it's a big ask for them, and Huddersfield will be treating this as a must-win match because are they totally out of the relegation picture? I don't think they are. Only 5 points clear. So, they need a win here, and I do think they will get it. I'm going to say 2-0 to Huddersfield. Norwich host Stoke at Carrow Road. Norwich, they've been really poor without Emi Buendia, but he is back for this game, which is a huge boost for them. Stoke, they picked up a decent draw last time out against Reading, but they still haven't won since the beginning of December or something, and I can't see that changing here. I think Norwich with Buendia will just have too much quality for them, and they need to get back on track to have a chance of the automatic promotion places. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Norwich. Reading host Millwall at the Daisy Stadium. Reading, off the back of that really disappointing defeat to Brentford last time out, but they did play really well, so they will take positive from that. Reading, I do think they will have enough quality here. With the likes of Ajaria, Elise and Zhao up front, I do think it will be a bit too much for the Millwall side, who are doing okay at the moment. They don't concede many, but they don't concede many either. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Reading now. Next up, Rotherham host QPR at the New York Stadium. Rotherham, they'll be treating this as a really must-win game. They had a great opportunity last time out against Cardiff to pull away from the relegation zone, but they didn't take it. QPR in 16th, Charlie Austin has improved that team massively, and 5 points clear. I think they'll be okay, to be honest. But I'm still expecting this to be a scrappy game. I don't think either side will be desperate not to lose, and I do think it will show. I think it will be a 1-1 draw. Sheffield Wednesday host Swansea at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday, they do have quite a lot of injuries at the moment. Swansea, they're on a really good run of form, and of course, how impressive did they look last time out against Norwich? Did take a bit of a tonking by Man City, but I think that's a bit of a write-off. What a job Neil Thompson's done, but I just still can't see them getting a result here. I do think Swansea will have a bit too much quality for them, and they'll be looking to rebound from that really disappointing defeat against Millwall, which they did against Wycombe, but this is a proper test. Watford host Bristol City at Vicarage Road. Watford, they're doing not great at the moment, it has to be said. Winless in 3. There are some rumours of discontent under Xisco Munoz, which is strange after such a good start. Bristol City, they've lost the last 4 now in all competitions. They need a win to get back on track. But against the Watford side, with the quality they have, I just can't see them getting it. And I do think Watford will pick up a much needed win. I'm going to say 2-0. Brentford host Barnsley at Brentford's new ground in a crucial game. Barnsley, they played really, really well last time out against Chelsea, but they just couldn't get the win. Brentford, really important win against Reading. What a performance that was. I think, with the unbeaten run they're on. And Barnsley, they're not on the greatest run of form at the moment. Only won 1 in the last 5, and even that was in the Cup. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Brentford. I do think it will be a fairly routine win for them. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily football news. And subscribe to my channel on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.